Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky called on Europe to develop its own air defense systems and urged more support from Washington after Russia's latest deadly drone and missile barrage.
Israeli threats to strike Hezbollah strongholds in Beirut have been temporarily put on hold, Lebanese MP Hassan Hasbani told Euronews.
Archaeologists in Paris are excavating 4 meters down in front of Notre Dame Cathedral, uncovering roughly 20 centuries of history.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky called on Europe to develop its own air defense systems on Tuesday and urged more support from Washington after Russia's latest deadly drone and missile barrage. Writing on social media, Zelensky stated that Europe needs its own anti-ballistic defense so that this war can finally be brought to an end, adding that assistance from the United States in supplying missiles for Patriot systems is absolutely necessary. He warned that the large-scale attack was an absolutely clear statement from Russia that if Ukraine is not protected from ballistic strikes, these attacks will continue. The urgent remarks came after a Russian barrage on Ukraine early on Tuesday, killing at least 18 people and injuring 100 others, damaging homes and hitting infrastructure. Ukrainian Foreign Minister Andriy Sybiha echoed the president, stating the wave of strikes showed Vladimir Putin was running out of military options and calling him a war criminal and loser who has no cards except terror. The Ukrainian Air Force confirmed Russia had launched 73 missiles and 656 drones during the assault, adding that defense teams successfully downed 602 of the drones and 40 of the missiles. An analysis of Air Force data highlighted the massive scale of the aerial campaign, showing Russia launched a record 8,150 long-range drones at Ukraine in May alone. While Kiev successfully intercepted about 90% of all incoming targets last month, officials stressed that the country still struggles to down ballistic missiles without additional Western hardware.
Harrowing scenes have emerged from what has become in Ukraine just another night. At least 18 people have been killed and 116 have been injured as Russia launched a massive overnight attack of 729 combined missiles and drones, according to Ukrainian officials. Meanwhile, more people are still trapped under the rubble, and on Tuesday morning the attack was ongoing, authorities said. In the capital of Kyiv, attacks claimed the lives of at least 6 people and injured 66, while local media reported residents rushing to spend the night in shelters, clutching on to some of their belongings. In the city of Kharkiv, at least 13 people have been wounded, according to regional governor Ole Sinyobov. A Russian attack in the city of Dnipro left at least 12 people dead, including a 73-year-old woman and children, and 37 people were reported injured, according to local governor Alexander Hanza. The main targets of the attack also included Zaporizhzhia, Poltava and many other regions. Ukraine's armed forces reported 73 air, sea and ground-launched missiles and counted 656 Russian drones. However, they downed 40 of the missiles and 642 of the drones. The latest attack comes days after Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky warned that Russia was preparing a massive new strike on the country.
Spain is currently hosting one of the major military exercises organized by the European Union. Milex 26, a series of maneuvers, has brought together some 2,500 military personnel from 13 countries in Zaragoza to test the European Union's rapid deployment capability in the event of an international crisis. The exercises aim to assess whether the European Union is prepared to mobilize forces in a coordinated manner and act swiftly in emergency situations. The exercises are being conducted at various levels of command, from the planning centers in Brussels to the units deployed on the ground. Spain is leading the European Union battle group participating in the exercises. Among the resources deployed are Leopard tanks, armored vehicles, drones, helicopters, and units specialized in intelligence, electronic warfare, and medical support.
Princess Leonor has completed the basic parachuting course at the Alcantarilla Air Base in Murcia. A a key component of her training at the General Academy of the Air and Space. This training is part of the second year of her military education, following her time at the General Army Academy in Zaragoza the previous year. Alongside 50 classmates, the heiress to the throne had been trained to perform jumps in automatic deployment mode. This training is identical to that received by the rest of the Spanish armed forces and the Civil Guard for high-capacity missions, designed to ensure maximum safety and coordination in the air. The images captured in May show rigorous ground training, simulator use, and the final jumps, including a night jump in full gear. After successfully passing all the tests, the Princess of Asturias now holds the official Parachute Ranger badge, a new milestone on her path to the Supreme Command of the Armed Forces.
Thousands of people took to the streets of Tirana, Albania's capital, on Monday to protest against a luxury resort project linked to U.S. President Donald Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner. Affinity Partners, owned by Kushner, wants to turn the coastal wetland area into a huge resort. The project is planned to be built on several hectares of the protected Viozenata coastal landscape and on the uninhabited Adriatic island of Sazan. Albanian anti-corruption prosecutors say they are investigating the project after environmental NGOs have long raised concerns that it could threaten the area's biodiversity and disrupt bird migration routes. Albania's Prime Minister Edi Rama, who earlier confirmed talks with Kushner over the deal that includes 10,000 hotel rooms, told lawmakers on Monday that the project does not encroach on a protected wildlife reserve. Rama said the final proposal has yet to be submitted and the environmental study done was not complete.
Israeli threats to strike Hezbollah strongholds in Beirut have been temporarily put on hold following talks between the Lebanese government and the United States, Lebanese MP Hassan Hasbani told Euronews. Yet the former deputy prime minister believes this agreement would be limited in scope.
I don't trust any side to stop anything because Hezbollah is an Iranian faction on Lebanese territory. Their actions are being largely dictated by the war that's ongoing today, and they are effectively a militarized force outside the Lebanese government control on the Eastern Mediterranean, controlled by Iran, and they are at war with Israel.
He stressed the Lebanese state is trying to de-escalate and avert further destruction in Lebanon.
Today, it is about how can the Lebanese government control all of its territory and establish its sovereignty with the help of its supporting countries, and to control the decision on war and peace so that we can avoid such a situation happening in the future where militarized factions on Lebanese territory can pull the trigger at any point in time and drag Lebanon into a war with Israel again.
Meanwhile, fighting continues between the Hezbollah and Israel in southern Lebanon.
Artificial intelligence company Anthropic is moving toward going public on Wall Street, announcing that it has submitted a confidential filing with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission for a proposed initial public offering of its common stock. It marks the latest chapter in the meteoric rise of the 5-year-old maker of the Claude chatbot, becoming one of the world's most valuable startups valued at $965 billion. Anthropic now has vaulted ahead of its chief rival ChatGPT maker OpenAI, not only in market value and reported revenue, but also on the path to becoming a publicly traded company. Anthropic was formed in 2021 by ex-OpenAI executives, and now both AI firms are expected to become publicly traded. But both have been losing more money than they make, fueling concerns of an AI bubble. Claude's growing popularity has left OpenAI playing catch-up despite its early lead in making ChatGPT a household name that sparked a commercial AI boom. Anthropic also recently launched its newest AI model called Claude Opus 4.8, boasting that it is even better at coding and other professional work than previous models. Beyond Venice's crowded canals, flamingos are taking up temporary residence in the lagoon outside the city. Over the decades, this fragile ecosystem has been profoundly altered, above all by the demands of port and industrial activities. But the scientists and environmental groups working to restore these wetlands say a sharp rise in the number of flamingos may be a sign their efforts are paying off.
In the past 20 years, the number of flamingos in the lagoon has increased very significantly, especially last year's numbers were the highest ever. We still have to be careful when we're trying to, claim that there's a certain trend, because nature is very complicated. There's so many factors, some that change on a short term, others that are changing on the long term.
A project funded through the EU Horizon 2020 program is taking shape, an initiative designed to bring part of the lost ecosystem back to life.
Where we are now is a reconstructed wetland where sediments from port maintenance activities have been pumped into this contained area, and the idea is that it develops the ecological functionality of natural salt marsh.
The presence of flamingos in the lagoon underlines the importance of the Venetian ecosystem and offers a new way for visitors to interpret the canal city and its many islands through their ecological and not just historical and artistic significance.